So I did a thing. Look what is in my house now. You know, back in probably 7 or 8 years ago, when Brother came out with a PR1000, I bought it. We were able to need a good design event. I wasn't working for the company, but Rob, Rob, he makes an offer you can't refuse. And I had always wanted a multi-needle machine anyway, and I was familiar with Brothers because I had Quattro, I've been very happy with those. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I gotta tell you, over the years, that PR1000 has just been a workhorse. I have loved it. It's got 35, 36 million stitches on it. It's never given me a bit of trouble. I've only just ever taken it in for routine maintenance to keep it fresh. And so when the 1050 came out about 4 years ago, it was like, well, I don't think I really need to upgrade. I'm happy with what I've got. However, that was 4 years ago, and in that time, technology's improved. We have so many opportunities to improve our efficiency of our sewing and embroidery that I thought, well, when Brother comes out with a new 10 needle, I'm going to seriously look into going ahead and getting it and upgrading to the newest model. And that happened on Wednesday. And so then on Friday, this thing I got this thing into my house after picking it up at the store, and I haven't unboxed it yet. So I thought maybe I would take you along on that little journey of unboxing the machine, and then we can see what all's in it. And then once I get it unboxed, I'll get it into my sewing studio and plug it in and see some of the features of it as it embroiders. So let's get started and see what's in the box. So the box is secured with some strapping. So we'll cut that off. Ooh, I'm so excited. Got a little piece of cardboard here. Take that out. More strapping. Take that off. And then let's open the top of the box. So on the very top of the box, get rid of the cardboard, we have an accessory tray. It has all of the hoops and the attendant grids that go with those, the accessory box, and some cables. Let's take a look at what's up first. This hoop is 7 7/8 by 14 inches. There is a 14 by 14 inch hoop which you can use, but you have to sew half of your design and turn the hoop around and then sew the other half. So you're still sewing in a field that's basically a little less than 8 by 14. That 14 by 14 is an optional hoop available. This one comes standard with the machine. Each one of these hoops has a grid like this that helps you get things centered in the hoop as you're setting things up. Of course, this machine, being a Brother high-end machine, comes with a camera and a snowman that you can also use for some of those centering features. So that's the 7 7/8 by 14 hoop. Also on this side of the box is basically the 5 by 7 hoop. Now, one of the things about a 10 needle machine, or the Brother 10 needle machines, and probably most of them, is that they are free arm machines, and I'll show you that in a moment. What that means is when you hoop your material or whatever you're going to embroider on, this goes underneath and this goes on top. So this allows you to have things hang under the hoop, under the free arm, so you can hoop things like shirts and pants and bags without having to take out the seams. So that's the way these particular hoops work. And again, there's the grids that go with it. The next hoop up is the 4 by 4 hoop. And this is when we all started embroidery, this is about as big a hoop as we had to use. And of course now we have up to almost 8 by 14 on this machine, and even bigger on machines like the Luminaire, the Dream machine. So we've really come a long way in our ability to embroider large items, or have a large embroidery field. Finally, we have the smallest hoop, which is 2.4 by 1.6 inches, so very small. The way that it works is this is all you have to have underneath the garment when you're going to hoop something. So a sleeve, a onesie, small things, a pocket. This can slip under there, and then this goes on top to hoop your item. so you can hoop small things and not have to take out any seams in order to get it flat to embroider. Each of these hoops goes on, the way that you install them on the machine is through these embroidery frames. And there's 2 frames that come with the machine, the A-frame. And all of those hoops that I showed you use the A-frame. And again, it's the A-frame hoops that have a deal where the hooping is kind of what you would think almost upside down, where the brackets that hold the hoop into the machine are on top of the garment, and just the smaller part of the hoop is underneath. And those are all A-frame hoops. So this is the B-frame that comes with it. And Brother does a good job of letting you know which is which. They color code them differently and put a little sticker on and say, hey, this is the B-frame. And hoops like the square hoop, there's this hoop that's 7 7/8 by 7 7/8 for like quilt blocks. The border frame that allows you to hoop your fabric in a 4 by 10 deal and then just slide it down as you embroider. They require the B-frame in order to go onto the machine. So Brother provides both. But the hoops that come initially with the machine only need the A-frame. Also on the top of the box here we have our accessory box, which is a nice snap lid box. We've got the felt pads for the thread spools. We've got cone tops. We have these handy dandy, the machine is self-threading, auto-threading, but you need a little bit of help to get the thread in the right place. So they give you some tools for that. Some tools to help you thread the needle, to change the needles, some extra needles. And then there's some magnets in here, and these are for ever since the 1050, that comes with the scanning mat, similar to what the Dream Machine has and the Luminaire has. You can scan a drawing and then create embroidery from it right at your machine without having to use software. So these magnets for that. We got some scissors, some oil, this is to help you put the needles in the machine, screwdrivers, cleaning brushes, everything an embroiderer needs to keep their machine in tip-top shape. Also inside, of course, is power cord and a direct cable to connect a laptop or computer directly to the machine, so you don't have to use a wireless system if you don't want to. Maybe you don't have wireless at your house, or take your machine on the road because you're doing some sales or something like that, so you would be able to hook your computer up directly to it. Here's some snowman stickers, and so this is a nice book that shows you all the designs that are built into the machine and provide the stitch sequence, so you know the color changes and everything you need if you're going to embroider any of these designs. The top of the box here is a little piece of yellow sticky paper that says, attention, more accessories stored in the styrofoam. So it's important when we take these styrofoam pieces out to make sure that we haven't thrown out anything we need to, like our scanning frame. So our scanning frame is hiding in the side styrofoam here. And again, it goes onto the machine just like a hoop. And with those magnets, you can put down a drawing or whatever and scan it and create embroidery with it. So that's the scanning hoop that's kind of hiding there on the side. And next up is our table. And this provides a wonderful flat space, particularly when you have a big hoop on, in order to kind of stabilize everything as you're embroidering. One of the optional accessories I noticed is a smaller table that still allows you to use the tubular arm, but gives you some stability to whatever you've got hooped and you're trying to embroider. So that's something that's optional. It'll be optionally available for this machine. Finally, in the top of the box, we have the operation manual, both in English and in Spanish. So this is a great reference to tell you all you need to know about how to run it, but there's also some built-in tutorials on the machine to help you as well. So that is what's in the top of the box. In order to get the machine out, I am not going to lift it up over this box. So there's handy dandy white clips at the bottom of the box. And when you take those out, then the box will come up and leave the machine behind. So let's do that. So I have my camera tilted down so you can see these white clips at the bottom. And there's a little pinch point in there, and you just pinch them and they come right out of the box. There's that one. And that one. And there's one on either side and two in the back. So I'll get those off and then we'll lift the box up. So now that I have those white clips removed, I can lift the box up. And off the machine. And now for the big reveal. Move this styrofoam and this piece of styrofoam. And wouldn't you know, I have it in sideways. You can see the front of it. So I'll turn it around. And we can get a little bit of this plastic wrap off and get a good look at this beautiful machine. So this is just going to lift right up out of that styrofoam, and I'm going to put it on a cart. I'm going to get my husband to help me get back in the salon studio, and we'll turn it on and see what's what. So I got the, well, my husband got the machine up here in my salon studio on my cabinet. This is a cabinet I've had a while, and this is where I usually put my tin needles. It's a little higher than I probably really would like, but it's what I bought. You might want to check for some of the stands that are available for these machines that are a little bit lighter weight, easier to push around. They have space to hang your hoops and store some of your materials and stuff, so they're a good deal to have. But Brother really packs their machines, and you know, I wish I had stock in whatever company it is that makes this blue tape, because Brother uses this blue tape on all their machines when they pack them, and they use a lot of it. So there's some blue tape to take off that has the embroidery arm locked down. So I get all this blue tape off and remove the cardboard, and now my embroidered arm is free. There is a styrofoam protector here for the needles that is also blue taped in. Just slide out of the way. And then up here are my thread stands, and some screws here that have to be loosened in order to raise this up. So this is the little tool that you use on these larger bolts or screws, or whatever you want to call them. So we're going to loosen these. And that will enable us to lift the thread stand up, like so. More blue tape. This box was protecting the thread pins, so we can get off of here. So we'll take the blue tape off on your side. Then we can remove the spool pin protector. Before we add thread, these swing out, and there's another screw up here that we loosen up, and then these swing out like this and like that, but I can't swing that out until I get over there and move the monitor. On this machine is the monitor, and once again there's some screws that hold that tight while it's being shipped that you need to loosen. Now I'll enable this to swing out. There's also a screw that's back here that allows you to tilt the monitor this way. I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Take some more blue tape off, and there's a notice here that says remove the fixing plates before switching on the machine. So these little red fixing plates have to go. Okay, so I need a different little screwdriver for those. So I've removed the fixing plates. Now that I have my monitor out of the way, I can swing out this other pull stand. And I'm ready to turn the machine on. This is quite a bit bigger monitor than I had on the PR1000. And of course the resolution is much higher, so I'm really looking forward to that. So now I can go through some setup on the machine, and I want English as the language. I can set the clock. So there's the screen. Down here we have the go button, the scissor button, and the needle threading button. Up here is where you select your different threads in order to move them so that the needles can be threaded. There is the oiling button. You push that, and the hand wheel rotates. Say OK. Then you can open up this, and the hook is in the right place for a drop of oil. I'm going to thread the machine and fabric in a hoop and just sew something out to see how it's like. I have loaded up each of the spool pins with some thread, and now I'm going to thread the machine. Now normally when I've been using the machine and already have thread on it, I just do a pull through. I tie the two threads, the ends of the threads together, and just pull it through to the next color, which saves me having to manipulate through all these parts. But obviously there's no thread here, so I'm going to have to start from scratch in terms of threading the machine. Fortunately, Brother does a really good job of diagramming what the thread path is for their machine, so it's pretty easy to follow. Now I have all of the threads threaded through the thread paths. All that's left is to thread the needles. So I got all my threads right here. Remember, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select which needle I want, number 2. I'm going to push the needle threader, loop it around, cut it, thread it. Just keep going down the line. All my needles are threaded. So if I scroll through here, I have the different palettes I can choose from. Embroidery, Country, Madeira, Sulky, Robinson Anton, Isacord, Gutermann, Pace Setter, which is the Brother brand, Iris, and Floriani. Yay! So finally we have Floriani as a palette. So this table is going to go in. There's a little slot on each side that these little pins sit in. So you line that up. Slide the table back. Then there's some little tightening screws up underneath if you like to need those. Now the table's in place and it's a nice flat surface for this big hoop. So now I'm ready to put the bobbin in the machine, and this machine has a bobbin case and uses L-size bobbins. I've got some pre-wounds here. And the thread goes in clockwise to the bobbin. So you hold the bobbin like this, your thread is coming off clockwise. You put it in, there's a groove, you put it in and wind it around into that little clip. And now your bobbin is threaded. Now your bobbin's seated. Put it up under here. Hear it click in, close the lid. So I've got my table on, I've got my thread, I got all my needles threaded, I have my bobbin in, and now I'm ready to hoop and I'm ready to go. And we unlock it and we say sew. So I've used my machine a little bit and can tell you about a few of the things that I really like about it. So the camera on this machine is so much better than what I had on the PR1000. The resolution is so much better. So I have a broken thread and I want to know how much I need to back up in order to see it. So I can hit the magnifying glass and a picture of my exactly where I'm sewing. The green and black cross indicates my needle drop position at this point. So I'm going to have to back up several stitches in order to fill in this gap. Because sometimes when a thread breaks, it sews a little longer before it realizes there's a broken thread. So I'm going to back up 10, 20, 30, and that way I'm sure I'm in where I've already sewn, and there'll be a little bit of an overlap. But look at how clear that picture is, and you know exactly where you need to put your needle to start sewing again. And watch how fast this scans. The camera also has a wider field, and so it doesn't have to go back and forth as many times. This is at least 5 times faster scanning than what I had in the PR1000. So this is a big advantage, a big upgrade for me. Another thing that I really like about the new machine is it has the Floriani palette. It doesn't have all the colors. It's like 360 of them, so obviously there's some newer colors that are not there. The metallics are not there. The variegated threads aren't there. Another new feature that is really nice, now you can send stuff wirelessly to the machine from PE Design. One of the things I like the most about the new machine is the stitch monitor. It enables me to look at my phone wherever I am on my network and check the status of the embroidery, what thread it's on, how many are left to go, what the color sequence is. It'll also notify me if there's a problem, like the bobbin has run out or a thread has broken. So in this video, I was just able to show you a few of the features about the new PR1055X that I've figured out so far. There's a lot more to learn. And looking through the manual and some of the online stuff, there's some functions that I don't know about and need to read more about and figure out what they mean, such as the grid function, the live camera view. My design center is built into this machine, and I have not used that. I've used it on a dream machine, but I see what's different with this one. There's a lot to know and a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of that knowledge with you as I learn more through these videos. Also, there's some new products that have come out that support the machine that are exciting, and I can't wait to get my hands on those. There is a flat brim cap frame, which makes it easier to hoop a cap and also allows you to get closer to the brim for the embroidery, closer between where the cap and the brim meet. Right now, if you hoop a cap with the existing cap frame, you have to start your embroidery up from where the brim and the cap meet up by about an inch or an inch and a half. So this will allow you to get closer to the brim, this new frame. There's also a new hoop called the magnetic sash frame, which will make it very easy to hoop quilt sandwiches. So with that magnetic sash frame, you can use some of the fills that are in the My Design Center. There's 26 new fills. You can also have the ability with that sash frame to be able to make continuous borders on your quilt up to 118 inches long and use some of the sashing patterns that are new to the machine as well. There's a lot to learn and a lot to do, and as I said, I'll try to provide some videos as I go along learning about the machine so that you can learn too. If you're in the market for a 10 needle machine, now's the time to buy. Stop by any of our Rocky Mountain stores and talk to our staff. This is a marvelous machine. It's intuitive, it's easy to use, it's a workhorse, and it would add a great value to an embroidery business. If you're a hobbyist like me and you just want to be able to load up a machine with 10 threads, watch on your phone and come down later when it's all done, or come down if you need to make a little change, this is a machine for you as well. I love my PR1000, and I know that I'm going to love the 1055 even more. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you my journey with this machine. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.